Leil Ab Siyata Deshmai Leil Aleph the Chag HaShavuos. It's interesting that they put Siyata Deshmai, right? It's a sefer. The whole book is covered by it. Before every mime, I think they do that. Do they? Yeah. Leil Ab the Chag HaShavuos, the first night of Shavuos Ifnei Boker at dawn, just as morning is coming. H'tשכ Chavav. בשעה שהקדימו ישראל נעשה לנשמה, the time when Yidden Matan Torah said to Hashem, Nasa before Nishma. So as a response, Bo Shishim B'Riboy Shal Malachi Ashodes, they descended 600,000 ministering angels, and they came L'Kol Echad V'Echad Misrael to every Yid, 600,000. Kosher Lo Yishnei Chsodim, and they tied to him, they decorated him with two crowns. Echad Keneged Nasa V'Echad Keneged Nishma. One corresponding to that they said, we will do, and the other, Nishma, we will hear, we will understand. Often, Nishma means two things. When in Pashtus, it doesn't mean understand. It means we'll hear what you have to say. First, whatever you're going to say, we'll do. And then Nishma, then we'll hear what you're going to say, and we'll do it. Chassidus brings it also, Nishma is an understanding. And furthermore, the Gemara says in Shabbos, Shehikdimu Yisrael Nasa Nishma, when Yidden did and prefaced their Nasa before Nishma, so there's such a gewaltige thing that Yotas Baskel, the heavenly voice, issued forth. And V'omroleh, and said to them, Migilo Lebonai Rozeh, who revealed to my children the secret, Shemalach HaShodas Mishtamshim Boi, that the ministering angels serve this way. Tichsiv, as the Gemara says, Baruch Hashem Alachav Gibori Koyach. So his angels, powerful ones, bless him. And how the angels described, Oised Dvoroi, they do his word, Lishmaya Bekoil Dvoroi, and they hear the voice of his word. So what do we see? Says the Gemara, Bereisha Oised Vahada Lishmaya. First they do Oised Dvoroi, and then Lishmaya Bekoil Dvoroi, and then they hear. So Hashem is saying, who revealed this secret of my angels? Who revealed this to my children? All pointing to saying Nasa before Nishma was a tremendous expression of Avodah. Now the Rabbi explains in the Pirush HaPoshet Shenasu Inyan HaKabbalah Soil. The Pirush HaPoshet is that they accepted the yoke of heaven unquestionably. Nishma is understanding. That's what they did. So the question is, what is so extraordinary about this? Shehikdimu Yisrael Nasa Nishma, that Yidden preceded first acceptance and then understanding. It's so extraordinary that a heavenly voice issues and says and goes out, Migila Roz Zelabana, who revealed this secret to my children. What's the secret? Why is this a mystery? How the movement's understood. In simple intelligence. The foundation of Torah Mitzvah has to be accepting the yoke of heaven. Because the king has so decreed. But not because a person understands it. Why does even Seichel HaPoshet acknowledge this is the only way, this is the way that a Jew must approach Torah Mitzvahs? Because ki ha-Torah va-mitzvah same seichel ha-boire mitzvah ya-boire. Torah and mitzvah, Torah is the seichel, the intellect of the divine, and the mitzvahs are the tzivui, the commandments. And because of the great gulf between creator and created, it's not shaykh, it's impossible that the created being will have any understanding of the creator. We had them on the contrary, have the possibility where the created being should have some kind of understanding. That's the Pella. That's a mystery. Wondrous and mysterious. God's kindness would allow for that, and he would reveal. He revealed a little bit the reasons of the pasuk Well, miktas time by mitzvahs, and a little bit of the reason of the mitzvahs. But vadulizes, without God's grace revealing something of an explanation, leishayach klal, it's not possible. Shetiz avon avasaga, that there should be any grasp at all in the Creator. So im kein harim moving bepashto, so it's self-understood. The accepting Torah, the whole foundation is, what are you accepting? This is divine. So obviously accepting adei Kabbalah sel dafka. It's accepting without understanding because it is beyond understanding. This is not a mystery, not a secret. That's the first question. And furthermore, the simple meaning that we will hear means we'll understand. So we have to understand another problem. So they get two crowns. Why are they getting a crown for saying we'll understand? They get a crown for putting obedience before understanding. That, yes. We understand. All is well, literally, that they get a crown because they said Nasa, in Kabbalah's oil, that's, accepting the yoke of heaven, putting self aside, going beyond the intellect. And they got a crown, and it's a parallel. Why a crown of all things? Because it's a crown. It's above. It's above the head. And transcends and surrounds the head. So because they went beyond their seichel, they got a gilul likus beyond seichel. That we understand. Why are they getting another keser, which is what Shilamali Barash again? That whole point, the keser is it's higher than seichel. They're getting that for nishma, for saying we'll understand. That's understanding. That's what the head is. So there's kind of two questions implied here. Why are they getting a gift altogether? That you want to understand, that's the human condition. And what's the gift? A keser? It's not midah keneged midah. Yeah? So two questions. But if we have to understand, if we have to say, Shigam Nishma, that when the Yidden said Nishma, that too is a Kabbalah's Earl connection. Shamaria Maseichel. Which that too is beyond Seichel. That will explain why they got a Keser even for saying Nishma. So if they're both beyond Seichel, wherein lies the distinction? Answer. V'ilu a Kabbalah's Earl, the Nasa, the Kabbalah's Earl expressed in Nasa, that's deeper still. That's even a deeper Kabbalah's oil, even deeper higher than Seichel. So that's a mystery, and that we have to understand. What are the two in Yonim higher than Seichel? That one is a mystery and one is not, yet both get a Keser. Yeah. Understand this. Again, by looking at revisiting the continuation of the quote which you quoted before, that Eibishter said, "Who revealed to my children this secret?" Which the angels used. The pasuk that describes the angels serving God through Maisa, obedience first, and then Shmiyah. Move on. It's understood for the fact that this whole Hashem's response and in the description of his angels, it's understood Shehikdimu so nice and nishma that we Yidden did so. Who bedugmas mashtem b'malachim. It's a similar avodah to the malachim of Eised Dvore lishmei bekel Dvore. So let's understand what the avodah the malachim is and see what Yidden are echoing. So the Zohar says on this pasuk, the Pirish Eised Dvore lishmei bekel Dvore. It's not just that they do it, but they make it. They make the matter. In Yiddish, they machen of them dover. They make the matter. This is like the type of Who is the virtuous woman? Oised, it's in Baila. So, simple meaning is she does the will of the bidding of her husband. But that can be read, Oisa, she makes his rotzen. She inspires him to have the rotzen. So here too, Oisa Dvare is not that God said and they fulfill it, but they create his word. They make the word. And this it continues, Mikan, once the Malachim have made the word, given the Iskeners, since they've made it, Kedain Inun Kayomin, so then they come, Lishmaya, Madi, Omres, what it says. So the Malachim make the word, and then they all come and stand literally to hear the word. So they're doing both. They're both creating it and then receiving from it. And this has to be explained. So that we see, that's what the Zohar says on this very pasuk that the Gemara brings about the secret that the Yidden also did. So therefore it's understood that that Yidden said nas before Nishma, it's the same thing. Shapirish the nicer, what does it mean? Nicer, like Kabbalahs, lasis, lakaimis at mitzvahs. Not simply we will do what you say, elegam, much deeper. She saw him, we actually create his words. Shahim oisimu peilim as giloi dvara yizbarim antara. Yidden are the ones that peil the revelation of his words, but matan Torah. The Rebbe adds here the word giloi. So it's not so much that we don't write the words, but oised dvara, the word exists. But oised dvara, we peil its giloi. We mamshich it. Otherwise it would remain concealed, never revealed. By seres adibris and seres adibris. And those words are the whole Torah. Shebem nichlalim kol hatayag mitzvahs v'chal Torah kulin. The seres adibris includes all the mitzvahs and the whole Torah. I'm sure he says, see Rashi, that the seres adibris is a 620 letters. That's from the side you're going. 613 plus the 7. And Machali explains how all the mitzvahs are rooted in the seres adibris, and Rashi makes that point as well. Now, the Rebbe says that they actually all included the first two dibris. That's more b'chlal, all degrees of klolos. So Yidna, what oised dvaray the mamshich the seres adibris, which is called Torah kula. And then, in the nasa, just like the malachim, then the oised dvaray. As I boim gam lishmaya b'kol dvaray. They come to hear the voice of his words, that they are the ones that are mamshich to begin with. In the nishma, that's what nishma means. So this is Meiridik, we have to understand, Keitzad be'emes yechelim yisrael liyis ois devarim, how taka be'emes can Yidden create God's words, lifel v'lasais klolos inyan yisgalis hatirim antayr, it's Yidden that appeal the whole revelation of Torah with the giving of the Torah. Okay. So, friends, summarize the first two oisias. What's the shaila? Bekitze, what's the shaila? The two shailas at the end on the story, the narrative, the living narrative, the living story that happened by Matan Torah. What does the Gemara say? The Yidden said last and Nishma, what happened?
Who revealed this?
Huh?
Who revealed this secret?
Yeah, they got two crowns, and moreover, Echad Keneged Nice and Echad Keneged Nishma, and then the Abisha said, Mi Gila Labana, Roze, Shmalach Esharas Mishtamishim Boy, and then the Pasuk, which is Negeya. I said, Dvare Dishmei Bekel Dvare. So what are the two shilas?
Why is it such a secret? Kabbalah's oil is built into understanding, for man to understand the Shah.
Yeah, if you had, not to connect. To connect. For Nivra to connect to the Beira, there's no way you can understand him. It's got to be the whole thing is Kabbalah Sel, and if there is some understanding, that's the Pella. That's the Roz. B'chaz de Hashem. That's the first question. So not a mystery, not a secret, not a wonder, a Pella. It can't be any other way. And the second shaila is,
Kesser for Nishma.
So there's kind of two shalas implied there. Nishma, that's normal, you won't understand, you get rewarded for that, I guess. And moreover, what's the reward?
Kesser.
A kesser, which is higher than seichel. So we have to say, therefore, that even the nishma is also higher than seichel. But what? The nasa is even higher still. So the yuvan, let's revisit what the malachim, how the malachim described as oised dvara. What did the Zohar say? They actually create the words itself, and then they come and hear what the word is saying, which is a pella. You made it, then you want to hear what it says. You made it. He doesn't ask that question, but that's implied. But what we see from here is that you didn't do the same thing. We are pale what? The words of the Seres HaDibros and Kol HaTorah Kula. So the shaila is how taka be'emes. Can Yidden be oised vodai that the Yidden are the ones that are mamshich, the Eibishter's words of Matan Torah? To be continued, Be'ez Hashem, tomorrow.